Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and Nintendo just came out today reminding us just how much they hate us, because they're shutting down the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U online servers. Now I know the first reaction from a lot of people is, who cares? A lot of people care, because a lot of people own a 3DS. As of September of 2022, 75 million, close to 76 million people own a 3DS, or at least that many units have been sold. And you know, only 13 million people have a Wii U, but still, the thing is, when it comes to Nintendo's online servers, it doesn't make any sense to me why they would shut them down at all, because they don't have dedicated servers. They aren't spending a ton of money on these things to keep them running, which means that we, the gamers and people playing, are bearing the brunt of that server load. We are the hosts. They aren't. So it's very strange, since there's really not a whole lot that they're paying for on their end. And it also makes it incredibly frustrating, because it just shows that this is the future of all video games. All console games are going to hit this day where we are going to no longer be able to play them online. And with more and more games being online only, that means more and more games in the future are simply going to be unplayable at all. So there aren't that many games in the 3DS and Wii U that are online only. I think Splatoon is pretty much the only one that you could argue is very close, because the multiplayer component is such a large part of that game. And a lot of 3DS games like Mario Kart, and I've heard a lot of people talking about Kid Icarus. That's going to be a big blow to that community. It just doesn't make sense why you would shut them down when these communities still exist, people still play these games, and they are still the ones bearing the brunt of the load. They are the hosts. They are doing peer-to-peer gameplay. If it was going through Nintendo, maybe I could understand why they were shutting down the servers, because it costs a lot of money to have dedicated servers for all those different games, but it's not. It's peer-to-peer, and it makes absolutely no sense why they're shutting it down. I know I keep saying that, but again, I think I need to reiterate the fact that there are so many games that are going to be in the future online only, and therefore unplayable when they decide to shut down those servers. And I want to stress the dystopian future that is ahead of us, because I feel like a lot of people don't really think about it. All these online only games only exist as long as those servers stay up, unless people are allowed to keep them going. So you could say, well, World of Warcraft, if it ever went down, it's gone forever. However, there are so many private servers that already exist, and the game isn't even dead. Even the game Toontown. Toontown was killed by Disney and then re-brought back by the community with Disney's blessing, as long as they didn't monetize it, that they could keep the game going. And they've added new stuff that wasn't in the game before. They've been updating the game, and they've made the game playable again. So the online only issue was essentially solved for a lot of these different games, and can be solved for the online play of Nintendo stuff. However, the problem with Nintendo shutting their servers down, I always have to remind people, and I always have to say that joke in the beginning, remember, Nintendo hates you, is because it's kind of not a joke. They are so protective of their IPs, they're so protective of their consoles and their online, that they will, I assume, shut down anyone that tries to recreate the Nintendo online system, even though they wouldn't make any money or lose any money with that existing. What are you guys doing over there, Nintendo? Stop it. They go after emulation all of the time, and yet barely have any support for their older games. What, there's a couple games per month that they throw on the Switch Online that only exists as a payment thing because they know that they can charge for it? Look, I know I keep roping up all these other rants into this one story, but there are all these different things that are connected to the fact that Nintendo doesn't care about their fan base. They don't care how many people still play the Animal Crossing 3DS game. They don't care about all the people that are still playing Mario Kart on the 3DS online. They don't care about the fact that they just opened the Splatoon 1 servers again to work this April. So you're getting a year of Splatoon 1 again, and then it's gone. So they brought it back just to kill it. When Halo 2 had its server shut down, it was incredibly sad, but there was still a way to play it. You could play on the Master Chief Collection. It's not entirely the same, but it is essentially the same experience. There's not going to be a replacement for Nintendo Online. There are all these different games that are just going to go offline, and unless Nintendo decides, oh, you know what, we actually care about the community, sorry, we'll keep those up, then we're just going to have to hope that they don't shut down fan-made solutions to this issue. I have no doubt that there are going to be plenty of fan solutions out there and that Nintendo is going to go after all of them just like they do with emulation. I mean, they shut down the eShop for the Wii U and 3DS, but I guarantee they're still going after people for downloading ROMs of those games that they can no longer buy from Nintendo anyway. You can't buy new Nintendo 3DS games from Nintendo anymore, but they don't want you to be able to play them. What? If I buy a used copy, you're not getting it anyway. But that's their logic. If I'm playing on somebody else's online server that they created, they're not losing any money. They just don't have to even have that original server up anymore, which is already not costing them that much. A lot of people are joking online, oh, but remember guys, Nintendo is an indie company. They can only afford to keep what's most relevant online. And that joke is so funny to me because Nintendo's a multi-billion-dollar company, and yet they can't afford probably a couple $1,000s to keep these servers running. So I will always say, if you have a 3DS and you haven't hacked it already, you should do that. Because you can't buy the games anyway, and it makes this thing a portable beast. You can emulate N64s-ish, but I mean, you can emulate up to like Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance. You can play DS games on here. You can download a bunch of DS games, 3DS games. You know, only do that with games you own, though, of course. You know, keep it legal. Got to do that with the games you own. Rip the cards. That's it. Don't download the ROMs. I have to say all that so I don't get demonetized like my last PlayStation 3 hacking video. But I would argue that it's ethically and morally fine to download games that you can no longer purchase. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. And yeah, it's sad as a person who's a fan of Nintendo and loves their games that they constantly as a company just don't really care about us. Yeah, it's a very abusive relationship that I feel like Nintendo fans are in. Thanks for watching, everyone. Of course, please do like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.